It's 11 p.m. and these are the headlines. Algeria marks National Martyrs' Day, a renewed pledge of loyalty to the sacrifices of the martyrs, reaffirming national consciousness in the face of shared challenges. Economic diversification in action. Algeria exports its first shipments of agricultural products by air to Saudi Arabia, with continued port operations and the launch of a new air route connecting Algeria and Doha. Algeria condemns the provocative visit by a French official to Western Sahara, calling it a violation of international legitimacy. And the Algerian cyclist Hamza Ammari wins the 2025 Tour of Algeria, securing victory at the end of the 10th stage in Hassim Saoud. Welcome back, everyone. Algeria has marked indeed a significant step in its export strategy with the departure of its first shipment of agricultural products to Saudi Arabia. Similar ones were sent towards Canada, Tunisia and Mauritania. This diversification underscores Algeria's ambition to establish a strong presence at both regional and international markets. Misalila Balaman.
A shipment of agricultural products is headed to Saudi Arabia, marking the first air export operation of its kind. These same products have also been exported to Canada, Tunisia and Mauritania, both by land and air. These significant export operations are the result of growing demand for Algerian products.
Algerian products are of high quality, which led us to sign a partnership agreement to import agricultural product as a first step before expanding to other products. This decision was especially encouraged by the various facilitation measures granted to us by Algeria.
Good, competitive.
I believe Algerian products have strong potential as they stand out for their diversity and quality in several industrial fields, including raw materials and pharmaceuticals. We are here to help Algerian products access Arab and African markets through our partners.
والسوق الإفريقي عن طريق شركائنا.
Investment law reforms had led to more than 12,000 projects currently in progress, which will increase the demand for transport and logistics services. I would like to emphasize that the main objective is to reach 20,000 projects and boost industrial and agricultural exports.
The reinforcement of non-hydrocarbon exports is a challenge that Algeria has successfully taken on through the implementation of various mechanisms. With the same determination and perseverance, the country continues to move forward to achieve even more.
We wanted to play our role in supporting exporters and economic operators in finalizing these deals. Today, we sealed 9 contracts. We took you to the airport to show you that exports are heading to Mauritania, Tunisia, Canada and Saudi Arabia. And this is just a sample. What's coming next is even better with God's willing.
وهذه فقط عينة وبالتالي فإن القادم أفضل بكثير بإذن الله تعالى.
I have also given instructions to all port authorities and general managers to ensure that ports operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A new route between Algiers and Doha will be launched with Tunisia as the first step, followed by Libya, then Egypt and finally Saudi Arabia.
ولكن نبدأ أولا بشقيقة تونس ثم ليبيا بعد ذلك مصر والسعودية ثم نصل إلى الدعاء.
Currently, the national market is fully covered and there is a surplus. The agricultural sector's production value in 2024 is estimated at $37 billion, allowing agriculture to contribute 50% to the country's GDP.
Algeria's strategy of diversifying its industries and exporting various products to numerous countries has proven effective in a short period, thanks to the foresight of the authorities and the significant efforts made across all sectors.
And on behalf of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Speaker of the Council of the Nation, Salah Goujil signed the condolence book at the Embassy of Namibia in Algiers following the passing of former Namibian President Sam Nujuma. He expressed deep sorrow over the loss of the founding father of Namibia and highlighting the late distinguished legacy of achievements that history will forever remember. Goujil conveyed on behalf of President Tebboune, the Algerian people and himself sincere condolences and solidarity with the late's family and the Namibian people, hoping they find strength and resilience in this moment of grief. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs was received today in Maputo by Mozambican President Daniel Francisco Chapo as part of his official visit to the country. During the meeting, Attaf conveyed the greetings of Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune to President Chapo, offering his heartfelt congratulations on assuming the presidency and wishing his success in his high responsibilities. Attaf also reaffirmed President Tebboun's desire to work together to further strengthen the historical ties of friendship and solidarity between the two countries, ensuring that bilateral cooperation reaches its highest potential. The meeting provided an opportunity to discuss the various dimensions of the distinguished relations between Algeria and Mozambique, as well as ways to maintain the positive momentum of these relations in line with the strong will of the two leaders to enhance bilateral cooperation in all fields and strengthen coordination at every level. Always with State Minister and as part of his official visit to Mozambique, Ahmed Attaf held a working session in Maputo with Mozambique's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Maria Manuela dos Santos Lucas. The talks focused on preparations for the upcoming 6th session of the Joint Governmental Committee and ways to maximize the outcomes of this bilateral event to further strengthen relations between the countries, in particular in the areas of defense, security, energy, agriculture, trade, media and higher education. The ministers also exchanged views on the ongoing developments in various conflict zones across Africa, emphasizing the need for continued coordination in supporting just causes both in Africa and globally, with a particular focus on the Palestinian cause and the decolonization of Western Sahara. At the end of his official visit, the Minister of State, Ahmed Attaf, paid a courtesy visit to former Mozambican President Joaquim Alberto Chissano, who also serves as the honorary president of the International Association of Friends of the Algerian Revolution. On this occasion, Attaf conveyed President Abdelmajid Tebboun's fraternal greetings and sincere wishes for good health and well-being. The meeting, which coincides with Algeria's National Day of the Martyr, provided an opportunity to reflect on the historic ties between Algeria and Mozambique, marked by solidarity, mutual support, and a shared struggle against colonialism. On February 18th, Algeria commemorates Martyrs' Day, honoring those who sacrificed their lives for the nation. Through ceremonies, inaugurations and cultural events, this day preserves their memory and reinforces the country's commitment to passing down its glorious history.
The nation observes Martyrs' Day on February 18th of each year to pay tribute to those who put their life on the line and sacrificed it for the homeland. This day is a reminder of the price paid for liberty and independence, as well as the courage and heroism of an entire population. Official ceremonies and activities were organized across the country: Tindouf, Gardaya, Wergla, Bashar, Oran, and many more, to keep the memory of our brave martyrs alive. On this occasion, several streets, infrastructures, and establishments were inaugurated or named after the martyrs in recognition for their sacrifices. The raising of the national colors, the recitation of Al-Fatiha, and the laying of wreaths marked the events. These festivities were also marked by cultural activities and honoring mujahideen or veterans who were witnesses to that awful era. Historical picture exhibits, conferences, and revolutionary chants captured the attention of a large public. A tribute from independent Algeria to express its deep gratitude towards the martyrs and veterans and everyone who supported it during the glorious liberation war. A way to honor the ones who contributed to its struggle for independence while highlighting their essential role. This day represents the sheer and strong will to preserve national memory and transmit this heritage to future generations.
Always with the National Martyrs' Day, the occasion to honor the sacrifices of past heroes, reinforcing values of loyalty and gratitude, and this event was marked by the military regions naming the institutions of the Ministry of National Defense after martyrs and war veterans of the Liberation Revolution. Najataya explains.
In the 1st Military Region, Major General Ali Sidan, in the presence of the General Central Director of the Army Security of the People's National Army Staff, supervised the naming ceremony of the High School of the Army Security after the martyr Jawadi Ammar. In the territory of the 6th Military Region, Major General Mohammed Ajroud, commander of the 6th Military Region, supervised the naming ceremony of the 6th Regiment Maghawir paratroopers in the name of the deceased Mujahid Khuti Mohammed. The Major General Mohammed Tayyib Brakni, commander of the 2nd Military Region, also supervised the naming ceremony of the Specialized Examination Center of the Military Health Services in Sidi Bel Abbas in the name of the deceased Mujahida Moulis Houl Sharifa. This ceremony was attended by executives of the People's National Army, civil authorities and families of the martyrs and mujahideen who were honored on the occasion.
And the Algerian consulate in Marseille marked the Day of the Martyr with a commemoration highlighting the importance of national history and its transmission to younger generations. The event featured a speech by Sofiane Chaib, Secretary of State to the Minister of Foreign Affairs in charge of the national community abroad. Delegation from the European Broadcasting Union met with executives of the Algerian Public Television Institution at the company's headquarters, and this to discuss cooperation in the audiovisual field. During the meeting, the European delegation highlighted EPTV's leading role in content exchange, noting that exclusive footage from Algerian television covering the war on Gaza has been used by more than 70 channels worldwide. Let's have a listen. All right, the visit of a French government official to Western Sahara is particularly serious and condemnable on multiple grounds, is the statement of the Algerian Ministry of Foreign Affairs following the visit. It reflects blatant disregard for international law by a permanent member of the UNSC. It also enforces Morocco's fait accompli in Western Sahara, a territory where the decolonization process remains unfinished and the right to self-determination unfulfilled. This unwelcome visit projects the deplorable image of a former colonial power standing in solidarity with a new one. In doing so, the French government further discredits itself and isolates itself from UN efforts to accelerate a resolution to the Western Sahara issue based on strict adherence to international law. France's cultural minister visit to the last colony in Africa, Western Sahara, is a real violation of the United Nations Charter and reaffirms the old colonial power's explicit support for the new one. Najah Tayyar explains.
France's decision to send its Minister of Culture, Rachida Dati, to the occupied Laayoune on February 17, 2025 is a blatant disregard for the international law. As a permanent member of the UN Security Council, France is openly defying the United Nations Charter, which has classified Western Sahara as a non-autonomous territory since 1963. By aligning itself with the Moroccan occupier, France is prioritizing its interests over legality, undermining the fundamental principles of international law and the UN resolutions that affirm the Sahrawi people's right to self-determination. This visit leaves no doubt about France's now explicit support for the Moroccan occupation, contradicting the principles it claims to uphold elsewhere. Despite the recent rulings by the International Court of Justice confirming the illegality of trade agreements between Morocco and the EU agreements that violate the Sahrawi people's inalienable rights over their natural resources, France continues to legitimize an unlawful annexation. This move reflects a strategy that disregards international law in favor of political and economic interests, and France's actions demonstrate that for its government, the end justifies the means, even if it means trampling on the rights of the Sahrawi people and violating the international legality.
And during a high-level open debate at the UNSC on strengthening multilateralism, reform and improving global governance, the Secretary of State to the Minister of Foreign Affairs responsible of African Affairs reaffirmed Algeria's belief in the need to uphold the multilateral system based on collective action to address shared challenges, and this aligning with the efforts to reinforce the central role of the United Nations, ensuring greater transparency, efficiency and fairness in the Security Council's work, while guaranteeing equal opportunities for all its members. Let's hear from Selma Bakhta Mansouri.
ضرورة الحفاظ على الدور المركزي.
The necessity to preserve the central role of the United Nations with emphasis on strengthening fair and balanced representation within its main bodies headed by the Security Council. It is unacceptable for the historical injustice against Africa to continue. The continent that constitutes more than a quarter of the member states of the UN, while it remains without any permanent representative within this council, and its influence in the non-permanent ones remains limited. Within this context, Algeria affirms its strong support for the unified African position as included in the Azalwini Consensus and the Third Declaration, a position that is supported by member states.
بتأييد متزايد من قبل الدول الأعضاء.
The Director General of the Algerian Investment Promotion Agency received today Mark Hassan, Vice President of the German Pharmaceutical Group, with the presence of agency officials. The meeting focused on ways to expand the group's investments in Algeria and strengthen its presence in the country. The group's engagement in Algeria spans over a decade through partnerships with pharmaceutical institutions. Zionist occupation forces continue their deadly raids in the occupied Palestinian territories, carrying out storming operations in various areas, including the Jenin refugee camp, Tel Karim and Noor al-Shams in the West Bank, as the Zionist forces are demolishing Palestinian homes in an attempt to force mass displacement. In Gaza, hospitals have received 7 martyrs, 6 whose bodies were recovered and 1 recently killed, along with 13 wounded in the past 24 hours. The UN warned today that any delay in the withdrawal of the Zionist army from southern Lebanon is a violation of Security Council Resolution 1701, the basis for the ceasefire agreement that took effect on November 27th. The Zionist entity had declared it would temporarily remain in 5 strategic positions in southern Lebanon. Meanwhile, its army continued to demolish buildings along the border and carry out strikes across the country. Algerian cyclist now Hamza Ammari won the 2025 Tour of Algeria after claiming the overall title following the final stage, linking Wergla to Hassim Saoud. Ammari finished with an overall time of 32 hours, 54 minutes and 33 seconds, just ahead of Belgium's Roger Voter and fellow Algerian Youssef Raqi Ergigi. In today's stage, Hamza Yassin crossed the line first, beating the Chinese and Eritrean candidates who finished at the same time. Ammari took home the yellow jersey as the overall winner, while Yassin earned the green jersey for best sprinter, the red jersey for top Algerian rider, and the blue jersey for today's stage win. And that was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.